Hi, Taurus. This is your fall 2020 forecast. I'm just going to go ahead and get right in. This reading actually won't be as long as the other ones because the same themes keep coming up for you guys for the month of fall. I know with Taurus, you're that very stable, earthy energy. Okay. You typically, for the most part, ladies, you don't jump from relationship to relationship. You're the type that when you are settled with someone, when you are feeling that person and you're feeling that energy, you're in it for the long haul. You're loyal. And you like to make sure that your partner understands how loyal you are. Unfortunately, a lot of you have been stuck in situations where you have been staying in relationships that are no longer fulfilling to you. Okay. And this not only includes like romantic relationships, this can also include friendships as well, even relationships with some family members that you need to walk away from. Again, when we talk about the earthy energy of Taurus, we're talking about someone who values stability, someone who values the support of family. They value the support of friendship and their relationships. So when it comes to walking away from something that is no longer conducive to you, to your good, you guys typically shy away from that. You stay in situations a little bit longer than what you need to, for the most part, because you're just you want to make sure you're making the right choice. And while I understand that, when it comes to this new energy that's coming up for fall, your spirit guides, the universe wants you to break out of that habit because it's breaking you inside. You're holding space for someone or something that no longer is reciprocating that energy to you. And because of it, a lot of you are in this process of trying to heal from old wounds. And it's sort of like, when we have a wound and we cleanse the wound and we treat the wound so it can heal. Many of you are dealing with people who like to scab and scrape at the wound. They're not the type of people who want to move forward with reconciliation. They would prefer things to be the status quo. And it sort of reminds me of this quote that came out, or rather that I've seen before, about people who have problems when you implement boundaries. They have those problems because when you implement that boundary, you are then letting them know that you cannot take advantage of me. And so that's why they're having those issues. So they would prefer for you to stay that docile type person, the person who just takes anything that comes their way. And this is not what you're meant to be, right? You're not meant to stay in those type of relationships. You're not meant to be lonely or confused or staying up worried about someone who may or may not be living up to their own full potential. Now, the High Priestess in reverse, one of the first cards that came out for you, Taurus. Many of you are neglecting to follow your intuition, okay? For many of you, you are in this headspace, in this energy of, I worked so hard for this, even though you know that this connection or this situation is not really in your best interest. You work so hard for it that you don't want to let it go, right? You don't want to let it go. You don't want to walk away from it because you invested time and energy in it. However, you're still unhappy. And I think for many of you, you've been getting signs from the universe to let you know it's time to walk away. Now, I know with this full moon in Pisces that we had last week, it was a ton of just heavy energy surrounding that because it was propelling us to move forward, okay? It was propelling us to look at things that we need to address, fix, heal, right? Especially things within our subconscious. And for many of us, we just kept it down beneath, below the surface, not allowing anyone in. And that's especially true for you, Taurus. So it's going to be important, one, for you to admit, one, that there is a problem, right? With this person, with this relationship, with this situation, it's not really getting any better. Okay. So you have to admit, one, that there's a problem. And two, you also have to remember and frequently tell yourself that you deserve better. Right. You don't need to stay in this situation. You don't need to stay in this predicament. Two of Cups in reverse. More than likely, there's been a lot of miscommunication, upheaval. arguing, going back and forth. Five of Wands, again, signifying conflict. For many of you, the Tower card in reverse, you are not open to change. You're not open to what the universe is trying to do for you, because the universe is saying, hey, you deserve better. You deserve better. You deserve better. And you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put myself out there. I don't know if I want to put myself on the limb like that. And the universe is reminding you to channel the courage that you have within. Strength card also came out. And I think for many of you, that means for you to channel that courage so that you can walk away. Eight of Cups came out here. But I also think for some of you, this means walking away from Leos, depending on who you're in that relationship with. Strength card can sometimes also signify that you're in a relationship or a connection with the Leo. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Leo doesn't necessarily have to be their sun sign. It could also be their moon sign or their rising sign. But typically, this person that you're in this connection with, they represent all the negative Leo traits. Now, with every sign, there's always positive and negative traits, right? With every sign. But this person, they're representing the negative Leo traits, the being ego-centered, wanting to be seen, not necessarily wanting to work together towards being in a fulfilling and loving partnership. Things like that. That's what you are being asked to walk away from. Eight of Cups, okay? Now, Nine of Wands in reverse. Nine of Wands. This is your calling, or rather the universe is trying to get you to open up and trust people. Now, Taurus, many of you have this bad habit of when things don't go the way you hoped that they would go, you tend to close everybody out. It's just like, hey, this sucks. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So, I'm just going to suck it up, and I'm not going to let anybody in my little bubble, in my little corner. I'm just going to do whatever. And while I do understand that many of us need time to self-soothe, however, you also want to make sure you're letting in people who actually do care about you. Let them in so that they can help you. All right. For many of you, you've been staying in your own head way too long. Okay. And because of that, you've been beating yourself up for things that is not really even your fault. For relationships and situations that didn't work out, it's not your fault. You were connected with an asshole, right? And so when we're connected to people like that, things tend not to go right. Usually these people are leeches. They see that you're an empath, or that you're kind and loving, or that you have that very stable energy, Taurus, where you know what you want out of life and you're going to get it, and you're not going to allow anyone to deter you from it, right? They see that and they want to leech onto that, okay? So this is why it's important for you to let go, one, and also open up and trust those who show you that they love you, who show you that they care for you, right? Because they're going to help you through the healing process. You don't have to go through that healing process alone. Now, I think for many of you, this breakup, walking away, is imminent because the universe is trying to get you set up for 2021. For a lot of you, you're going to start to see movement when it comes to many of your dreams being fulfilled at the beginning of 2021. But seeing the manifestation, I believe many of you will see it in the spring. Okay. That especially includes careers, financial matters. If you are a business owner, same thing here. I think you're going to start to see movement in 2021. But sometimes when we carry on that stagnant energy, especially with people who don't mean us any good, people who are using us, abusing us, mistreating us, the whole 9 yards, we tend to lose focus. And I think for many of you, you lost focus of the bigger picture. So your spirit guides in the universe had to say, we got to get rid of that person because we can't have them distracting her, okay, from what she is being called to do. Now, I know many of you, you want that happy ending, 10 of Cups, right? You want that happy ending with the love of your life, children, you have all your needs met, you have no worries, no cares at all. And the universe is saying you can still have that. Forget about that bum that you have to leave behind, right? Because you wanted that. That bum didn't want it. They wanted a quick, to be, just laying up with someone just to leech off of them, right? That's what they wanted. So even if you were to stay with them, you weren't going to get this 10 of cups ending that you've always wanted, okay? So it's one of those things where you have to take it as, yes, it's a loss to an extent, but you are removing something negative out of your life so that you can bring in something that's positive, all right? And so that's what your spirit guides, the universe, really want a lot of you to remember, that you're not alone, that it's nothing innately wrong with you. You just have a good heart and you tend to attract some bums. So the universe is saying, oh, no, we're tired of having them have her lose focus. We're going to start to intervene now. We're going to start to show her that she deserves more. Okay, that she doesn't need to be caught up in these situations any longer because they are making her lose focus on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is her fulfilling her goals, her ambitions, and her dreams. And this 10 of Cups energy that many of you are seeking, it'll automatically come into manifestation for you as you continue to focus in on your dreams, goals, and ambitions. Okay. So thank you, Taurus, for listening into your fall forecast. If you would like a personalized reading with me, please send an email to Katrina@PisceanSpirituality.org. Thank you, loves. Have a good week.